routine. Welcome back to Overlord Anime Review episode 19. Excuse me. Here I'm discussing the 50th episode of the series. Congratulations, Overlord, being my second anime series I've gotten to episode 54 while I do reviews for. The first one being, well, actually, scratch that. It's actually the third one. Because I think, like, the very first series that, there's been some series been like this, while I've reviewed episode 50. It's not the second one, no. I think it's like fourth or fifth, because this also happened with Barto. This happened with Shaman King, obviously. The 2021 reboot. I believe this also happened with ReZero and Overlord. But it's the second one based on a light novel series that I've gotten to episode 50. Yes. Though in the case of ReZero, when I got 50, basically that one, the very next episode was the final episode of the season. This one's presumably got 2 more episodes left to air. I say presumably because basically there's 2 more solicited that come out. So basically we have very different. We have like 3 settings this one. The first one is simply we see the previous king. I don't remember his name. The previous king before Zenek took over, where he basically is held captive in his own castle, and King Zenek basically is now no one's heard a word from him or the royal army because they disappeared. Because they figured though that the royal capital was next, he ordered everybody in the castle to relieve of their positions and leave immediately, including the guy who was declared as captive. He will stay behind. And of course the guy was said, but of course he'll leave. And that's the opening scene. I'm not sure if this is the same original or not, but this happens like right after the events in last week's episode. And then what happens next is quite interesting. We see the return of Coco Doll, first time since season 2 of the series. And I'm thinking, really? Coco Doll? That's interesting. Now, in case you don't know who this guy is, he's part of Eight Fingers, and in the English dub, he's voiced by Ian Sinclair. And apparently, since the event season 2, the guy was in prison. And apparently was freed, and then, of course, he, along with their 1,000 followers, decided to evacuate to, believe it or not, they went back to the fake Nazarick that was established. I think his last appearance I saw in the series was also in early season 2. Was during the Lizardman arc. That was the last time I think I remember seeing the damn thing. Great to see a thing again. And of course, Coco Doll was brought to Conquerusum to basically baptize. Probably make more thinner. Possibly, yes. Who the heck knows? And then immediately right afterwards, we see a battle going on. We see Albedo in armor. Full armor. I believe for her, I think this is the first time since season opening. I think in episode season 3, she's been seeing armor. Yes, so basically she ends up gets a fight with the guy in the armor. Just showed up just a couple episodes ago. I think his name's Azo. He's actually the leader of the Blue Rose's uncle. Yeah. Okay. And by the way, one thing interesting about Madhouse, when they show him inside the suit, I don't remember if this particularly mentioned in the book, but it reminds me a lot. Basically, his way this little displays inside the suit. It reminds me a lot of the Iron Man suit. Not the MCU version. Oh no. For anime version, it reminds me a lot of the one from Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'm sure that Madhouse, who actually worked on the Iron Man animated series, the Iron Man anime from Marvel Anime, I'm sure they basically borrowed this from that. Because they worked with Marvel on this series. Now, that's the only one of the Marvel anime I have seen. I enjoyed that one. I thought it was really good. And I think they basically just took concepts from that and gave it to this noble. He decided his version of basically a Gundam suit. Well, actually, it reminds me more of it reminds me of a War Machine suit. I would say the head itself reminds me of basically Detroit Steel's armor. Or, not Ironmonger. Ironmonger had basically more of a circular type head. And plus open in front. You can also think of, they do show the way where the front of it opens the way it does. It also kind of reminds me of Whiplash, the Whiplash armor scene in Iron Man 2. That's what it also reminds me of. So, he ends up getting Albedo with both the book and the anime to keep this part in where he refers to Albedo as Prime Minister Albedo. And of course, also we see Ainz fighting the guy in the platinum armor, which, yes, has happened in book 2. As for who he is, he's actually a dragon. Ainz guessed correctly. It was someone who controlled his remote control. And of course, mentions some. And of course, I tried the Graph's Heart thing, didn't work because this guy is miles away. Engaged in a brief battle, we see him sort of bowing for him, like this is a bad character for Ainz, like begging him as subordinate. He says no, he doesn't care about the country. Oh yeah, before this battle happens, he actually proceeds to precise these various spells on himself. This is actually the first time I've seen him do this since late season 1 that he's done this. Yes. So you're probably thinking, wait, Nick, why you make mention a lot of stuff happened in previous seasons of the show? Because I'm recently rewatching it. That's how I figured this stuff out. Yeah, by the way, you see the army of Death Knights, which is interesting. And the fact, like in the case of the two episodes back, slide with the same guy. And of course, got kind of the guy in the armor, which proceeds pretty much almost the same. I think the only thing is slightly changed. I think the book made changes too, where they actually changed the spelling. That's what I saw in the sub. They changed the spelling of the guy's name. It's like Ryoku Azuk, I think it's how you pronounce his name. And apparently this is not his actual name, but he does point out, though, in the book too, he points out too, that the armor resembles the armor worn by one of the 13 heroes whose name remains a mystery. Which, yes, that part is definitely true. Yeah, that's one thing I noticed with this episode. Seems like they changed very little here. Yes, I would say the only thing they basically added in was probably that opening sequence with the previous king. But mostly put this episode is almost spot on from the book. I can't really tell anything that was changed. Well, I can tell. I was rereading it just before I did this review. And there's not much change here. It's pretty faithful to what they adapted here. And if you're curious, how much did the book adapt from? This episode adapts from chapter, I believe this is 3 or 4, I think it is. This is chapter number 4. And they adapt mostly about this much right here. Yeah, this much in one episode. And by the way, if you're curious, there are 2 episodes left to go. And there are surprisingly... Get this. Guess how much is left? Basically, this is how much left to go, and we have 2 episodes left to go. And I'm thinking, yeah, we're probably going to cover the whole thing. Oh, by the way, the armor that Zenek wore in the previous episode, that's what it looks like. I have to show this off here. That's Asa Endor. This is the guy who's the leader, Blue Rose's uncle. He does show up in that. That's what he looks like here. And this is the dragon, Zendolas Bashin. That's the one who's listening to the armor from a distance. And of course, they do have these things pop up in the episode too. Yeah. But yeah, pretty much right after the battle itself, of course, Alberta gets upset because, till the finish up. But I saw a demon lord. Which one it is, I'm not really sure because he seems like a random guy they just happen to summon. In the book, they never describe who the heck this guy is. They just refer him as a demon lord he just happened to summon. So, follows him for a while and tells him the gates are open for his palace. And then, of course, Albedo and Ainz proceed to teleport back to Nazarick to go inside. Albedo's her helmet's off. I haven't said that in a while. And they proceed to bow. Yes, Ainz is bowing. You might be thinking, what the heck is going on here? And we see another Ainz. What the heck is going on here? Well, it's basically revealed that the Ainz we've seen in this whole episode, exception to the last little bit here, was Pandora's actor posing as Ainz. Which I believe this is the first time this anime has been seen, where he has actually done that, posing as Ainz. Because he actually has done this before in an episode of Isekai Quartet. Yep, he did the same thing there too, because Pandora's actor is a shapeshifter, so of course, basically, he can do this. And apparently, this is all Ainz' play, just to gather information. And apparently, Albedo was in it all along, which definitely interesting plot twist there. But damn good episode, and just can't wait for next week. And can you believe there's only 2 episodes left? Yeah, I assume there's 2 episodes left, given the fact that the previous 3 seasons were all 13 episodes apiece. So we probably got 2 episodes left to go. We're probably done here. Now you might be curious though. What about books 12 and 13? Movies. I haven't really heard exactly when in the world's supposed to be adapted. Well, at least when the film comes out, let's see. Okay, so the film has been announced, yes, but an original film? Yeah, they did announce the movie, but as for when I heard presumably next year. Yes. Yes, I'd say presumably next year. Yeah, presumably next year is probably when they're going to resume with probably when the movies come out. That's my personal guess, anyways. Yep, yep. But not much else to say about this. It's just really good here. Yep. So yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for this particular review. Stay tuned tomorrow because I'm going to have a video tonight for more Kamen Rider and Harem Alive with No World. Okay, next video. Bye.